Putin's opening remarks and key moments from the Alaska summit. The much-anticipated Alaska summit between Russian President Vladimir Putin and former U.S. President Donald Trump captured global attention, not only for its symbolism but also for the unexpected shifts in diplomatic tone. The summit, held at Joint Base Elmendorf in Alaska, marked one of the rare instances where a Russian leader opened proceedings at an event hosted on American soil. Putin's decision to speak first, reportedly at Trump's urging, set the tone for an unusual meeting that combined showmanship, tension, and hints of potential geopolitical realignment. Putin takes the lead. As the two leaders stepped onto the podium, it was Putin who opened with the words, "Mr. President. Gentlemen and ladies." This moment alone was striking. Traditionally, in summits hosted by the United States, the American president would be the one to deliver the opening statement. Trump, however, gestured to Putin to take the lead, underscoring the Russian leader's dominant presence at the event. In front of cameras, Putin announced that a deal had been struck, one he suggested could resolve the ongoing Ukrainian problem and restore business-like relations between Moscow and Washington. His remarks were calculated and confident, designed to project Russia as a pragmatic power willing to negotiate. Trump's contradiction and praise. Minutes later, Trump responded by saying progress had been made toward an agreement, but he denied that a finalized deal existed. While offering no concrete details, Trump instead lavished praise on Putin, calling him a strong leader and downplaying the conflicts that had defined U.S.-Russia relations since Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine. This praise stood in stark contrast to the icy reception Putin received during his last major U.S. appearance. In 2015, then-President Barack Obama openly criticized him for annexing Crimea and fueling violence in eastern Ukraine. That summit in New York was marked by a cold handshake and public disapproval, whereas the Alaska event was framed by warmth, smiles, and even physical gestures of camaraderie. Symbolism in gestures and protocol. Beyond words, body language played a crucial role in shaping perceptions of the summit. Upon arrival, Trump greeted Putin with two handshakes, once on the red carpet and again on the podium, signaling a personal connection that previous U.S. presidents were reluctant to display. Perhaps the most surprising gesture came when Trump invited Putin to ride with him in the Beast, the U.S. president's armored limousine. Escorting a foreign leader in such a manner is rare and highlighted Trump's willingness to break with protocol in order to emphasize personal diplomacy. Still, the warmth on display did little to mask the underlying tensions. As reporters shouted questions about Russia's actions in Ukraine, Trump grimaced, shook his head, and remained visibly uncomfortable. Seated stiffly with his hands clenched, Trump's silence contrasted with Putin's steady, self-assured demeanor. The first and last word belonged to Putin. From beginning to end, Putin dominated the optics of the summit. He spoke first, claiming progress, and he effectively spoke last, with Trump's closing remarks again emphasizing admiration for the Russian leader. Trump praised Putin's delegation, joking that they were nearly as famous as the president himself. He even singled out Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, who made headlines by arriving in a sweatshirt emblazoned with CCCP, the Soviet-era abbreviation for USSR. Many observers viewed this as deliberate trolling, especially since Ukraine, a former Soviet republic, was at the center of the talks. By the end of the event, Trump expressed his gratitude and eagerness to meet Putin again very soon, closing the summit on a note that suggested continuity rather than confrontation. Geopolitical implications. While no tangible agreements were announced, the optics of the Alaska summit carried weight. Putin succeeded in projecting himself as an equal, if not dominant, partner in the U.S.-Russia relationship. For domestic and international audiences, his ability to seize the first and last words at a U.S.-hosted event underscored Russia's persistence in challenging Western norms. For Trump, the summit reinforced his unconventional approach to diplomacy. By prioritizing personal rapport over traditional hardline stances, he blurred the lines between engagement and appeasement. His reluctance to criticize Russia's actions in Ukraine may embolden Moscow, while also raising questions among allies about Washington's commitment to collective security. Conclusion. The Alaska summit will likely be remembered less for its policy breakthroughs and more for its symbolism. Putin speaking first on American soil, Trump's willingness to praise and accommodate him, and the subtle yet provocative gestures surrounding the event together painted a portrait of shifting dynamics. In the end, the summit left the impression that the stage belonged to Putin, both literally and politically, while Trump played the role of host, facilitator, and admirer. Word count, ~710. Would you like me to also condense this into a shorter YouTube script format, around 300 words, punchy and engaging for narration, or do you want to keep it as a full written article for your channel description blog?